The classroom buzzed with chatter, the hum of students waiting for the lecture to start filling the air. Sunlight spilled through the tall windows, catching dust in golden streaks across the room. You sat near the back, your notebook open, fingers tracing absent-mindedly over the smooth paper as you tried to focus on the notes. And then it happened again. Jungkook leaned casually against the edge of a desk at the front, smirking like the king of the world. His leather jacket glinted under the fluorescent lights, and the careless tilt of his head spoke of arrogance that had earned him the title of college bad boy. He was at it again, tossing paper words, nudging students with his elbow, a mischievous glint in his eyes. And then, out of nowhere, one of his antics backfired. A paper ball made for the class clown ricocheted, and instead of hitting anyone, it landed softly on your desk. You blinked, staring at it, and for some reason, maybe the absurdity of it all, you laughed. Not a loud, obnoxious laugh, but a snort, unexpected giggle that slipped out before you could stop it. Jungkook froze mid-smirk. The sound of your laughter, it wasn't fear, it wasn't awe, it was amusement, and it was aimed at him. He narrowed his eyes, his smile twisting into something sharper. Hey, did you just laugh at me? You flinched instinctively, lowering your gaze, scribbling a quick note on your notebook. I didn't mean to. He snatched it from your hand, scanning the words. His smile deepened, not with amusement this time, but with a dangerous, simmering heat. Not me too. That's funny, really funny. You're lucky you are so quiet, or I would teach you a lesson you won't forget. He tossed the notebook back on your desk, but his gaze lingered. The amusement that had slipped into your laugh now fueled his growing obsession, first with annoyance, then with curiosity, and soon something darker. It started subtly, books went missing, notes mysteriously fell into muddy puddles outside. During lectures, he had leaned over, whispering insults only he could hear. What's the matter, little mouse? Cat got your tongue, or are you just scared of me? You only shrugged, scribbling in your notebook. I'm not scared. He would snatch it from your hands again, reading your words with a scowl. Huh, you think being quiet will save you? Everyone sees you, everyone watches, and I'm going to make sure everyone remembers your name. It was as if your silence enraged him more than any spoken insult. Good. Every glance, every scribbled word, every muted response seemed to prick at his ego. And yet, despite it all, you couldn't tear your eyes away. Something about his intensity, the reckless confidence, the fire in his gaze, it was maddeningly magnetic. The cafeteria was chaos as usual. Students crowded the tables, shoving trays around, arguing over seats, and then the inevitable happened. A fight erupted, loud shouts, fists swinging. Jungkook was at the center, showing someone twice his size. His leather jacket a blur of motion. You were frozen, staring from across the hall, unsure whether to step back or step closer. Enough, who started this fight? Everyone froze. Students whispered, pointing fingers at each other. Sweat dripped from Jungkook's temple, anger blazing in his dark eyes. You standing near the edge only did one thing. You pointed, your finger trembled, but it was clear he had started it. Jungkook's eyes snapped to you, wide with disbelief, then fury. You, that's enough, Jungkook. Come with me. You are suspended for a week. The words hit him like a punch. His fists clenched at his sides, jaw tight. He wanted to argue, to yell, to make you take it back, but he knew it was over. You felt the pang of guilt, your stomach twisting. You hadn't wanted him to get in trouble, but the moment your eyes met his, the anger in them was intoxicating in a way you couldn't explain. He glared at you as the principal led him away, his mind racing. You think this is over, Mouse? I'll get you, just wait. And with that, he disappeared, leaving a storm behind him, a storm you couldn't stop watching, no matter how much you tried. The moment Jungkook returned to college, the air around him seemed to thrum with danger. It wasn't just his presence, it was the weight of worry he carried like armor, a fire that had been stoked during his week long absence. Students instinctively stepped aside as he passed, whispering his name. Jungkook thrived on the attention, yet his eyes scanned the room with a singular focus finally landing on you. You sat at your usual corner desk, silently writing in your notebook. He sauntered over, the faint smile that had once been playful, now twisted with a darker edge. Well, look who's still sitting here, waiting for me to ruin your perfect little silence. You didn't respond, your pen kept moving, words forming sentences he couldn't read fast enough to catch. Hey, I'm talking to you. He leaned down, yanked your notebook from your hands, and scanned the page with a frown. What is this? I'm not afraid. Really, who will see about that? Before you could protest, even if you could speak, he shoved your chair back lightly, just enough to make you stumble. Papers flew from your bag, books tumbled onto the floor. Oops, did I hurt you, little bride? You only bent to pick them up, deliberately ignoring him. Your silence infuriated him. Don't ignore me, Mouse. Look at me when I'm talking. He snatched a book, flipping through it, then tossed it across the room, narrowly missing another student. Are you always this annoying, or is it just me? Say something. You kept quiet, writing instead. Leave me alone. Oh, I will, but not yet. His teasing became a daily ritual, tripping you in the hallway, pulling chairs from under you, leaving nasty notes in your bag that mocked, insulted, and tested your patience. But the more he bullied you, the more you stayed silent, composed, and untouchable in your own way. And that silence, ironically, was the thing that gnawed at him the most. It was late afternoon, the campus courtyard was bathed in golden light, and the chatter of students mingled with the distant bounce of a basketball. You carefully carried your books across the worn stone path, your mind focused on keeping your balance rather than the word across you. From the corner of your eye, a shadow loomed. Jungkook effortlessly reckless flung a stray basketball toward a friend, oblivious to the chaos trailing behind him. The ball skidded across the ground and rolled straight toward you. You jumped aside, clutching your books tighter, but he miscalculated. Watch it, Mouse. In a rush to catch the ball, he reached for it. And in the fury, his bracelet, a thick metal chain, scraped across your wrist as he brushed past. Sharp metal buried your skin, you gasped silently, the sting immediate and furious. A thin trickle of blood began to run down your palm, warm and sticky against your skin. Jungkook froze mid-step, his eyes widening. What the hell, your hand? Oh no, I didn't even see you there. You instinctively tried to pull away, wincing, but your hand was shaking and the blood was spreading across your books. Hey, don't just stand like there, like some ah. He crouched beside you, fumbling as he tried to grab a napkin from your back. His fingers brushed against yours, the warmth of his panic searing. Okay, okay, stay still. I'm not a doctor, but I can't even leave you pleading. You shook your head, attempting to brush off his hands, but he held your wrist firmly, carefully blotting the blood with the napkin. His brows furrowed, lips pressed into a thin line, eyes dark with guilt. Wait a second. He leaned closer, watching her lips move, but no sound came out. He blinked, confusion and disbelief flashing across his face. You can't talk. A single tear slipped from your eye as you nodded, unable to find words. Jungkook's dramatic sigh could have been heard across the courtyard. Oh, great, fantastic. Just when I think I can't feel worse about myself, you are silent and bleeding, and here I am, the genius bad guy who can't even. He paused, glanced at the trickle of blood, then muttered under his breath with mock exasperation. Why does this always happen to me? Despite the theatrics, his hands were surprisingly gentle as he tapped at your wound. Careful not to hurt you further, he tore a piece of tissue from his own sleeve and pressed it against the cut, muttering a mix of curses and self directed blame. Why didn't you tell me before? You could have. Mouse, you could have. Your trembling fingers found your notebook and scribbled. I tried. He read the words, and his expression softened, the sharp edge of his anger giving way to something heavy guilt, awe, and a strange protective instinct he hadn't expected. Mouse, I'm going to fix this. I mean it. You hear me? I swear I won't let anything happen to you. For the first time, you saw a side of him that wasn't just reckless, teasing, and cruel, a side that was capable of care, responsibility, and affection. And in that golden courtyard, with the sunlight catching the blood red streaks on your hand, you realized with a quiet, unspoken certainty nothing between you and Jungkook would ever be the same again. Jungkook sat on the edge of the campus fountain, the late afternoon sun catching the sharp angles of his face. Most people saw the bad boy arrogant, reckless, untouchable, but tonight alone the mask slipped slightly. His phone buzzed with messages he ignored, a group chat from home, his father yelling about grades, his older brother mocking him for getting into another fight, reminded him that the world outside college wasn't much kinder than here. He exhaled sharply, eyes darkening. No one knew this side of him. To the world, he was chaos and furry, but inside, he was just a boy who wanted to be understood. Across the courtyard, you sat on a bench, your notebook open, pen moving rapidly, your eyes flicked up at him, cautious but curious. After the accident, things had shifted slightly. He teased less, hovered more, and even went out of his way to make sure you were okay. Chobuk noticed the way you tilted your head when reading, how your fingers traced the notebook carefully. Something inside him softened every time he caught you watching him, yet he couldn't let anyone else see it. The college festival was in full swing. Music, laughter, and the scent of food stalls filled the air. You navigated through the crowd, notebook clutched to your chest, when a group of students shoved past roughly. One of them bumped into you hard, knocking your books to the ground before you could recover. Jungkook appeared like a shadow, sweeping between you and the students. Back off now. The students froze eyes wide as he stepped forward, fists clenched. War, relax, you didn't mean anything. I don't care. Don't touch her again. You watched silently, heart pounding around you, whisper spread, Jungkook protecting her, and some eyes turned envious, especially a girl from your class who had been jealous of your growing bond. The girl's glare cut across the courtyard. Jungkook noticed, smirk curling at the corner of his lips. What, you jealous, huh? Don't worry, she's mine to annoy. You scribbled nervously, mine to annoy. His laughter was low and teasing, but there was an edge, a subtle claim that sent a strange thrill through you. Later that week, a sudden downpour caught everyone off guard. You waited at the bus stop, drenched, shivering slightly. Your hair clung to your face, your coat soaked through. Jungkook rounded the corner on his motorbike, spotting you instantly. Mouse, what the hell are you doing out here? Before you could respond, he removed his jacket, draping it over your shoulders. You blinked up at him, surprised by the care in his eyes. You look ridiculous. You're freezing. Get on the bike. You hesitated, hands trembling, then noted he helped you onto the back, wrapping his arms around your waist. The warmth was sudden, comforting, and your heart raced. He didn't say a word, but his grip was protective, firm, yet gentle. The rain poured around you, but for a moment nothing else existed except the two of you. The library was quiet, the air thick with the smell of old books and polished wood. You sat at a corner table scribbling notes. Jungkook slid into the seat across from you, leaning casually, a mischievous grin playing at his lips. Don't think you can ignore me forever, Mouse. You just looked up and scribbled, I'm trying. He chuckled, shaking his head. Trying, you're terrible at this game. You know that, right? When your hand accidentally brushed his as you reached for a pen, he froze, color rising slightly in his cheeks. He didn't pull away, but he pretended nothing had happened, staring instead at his notebook like it held the secrets of the universe. Don't do that again. You smiled faintly, a tiny victory sign stretched between you, comforting, teasing, intimate, all without a single word spoken. The sun hung low over the college courtyard, casting long shadows across the polished steps. Graduation day was in full swing, caps tossed, laughter echoing, proud families snapping photos. The air smelled of flowers and fresh hope, yet your heart felt strangely heavy. You stood at the edge of the crowd, diploma in hand, when a familiar shadow fell across your path. Chonguk, his graduation gown didn't hide the aura that had always made him unforgettable. His dark eyes found yours instantly, and for a moment the world faded, leaving only him. Hey, can I talk to you? You nodded, letting him lead you away from the cheering crowd to the quieter steps behind the auditorium. The noise of celebration softened, replaced by the rhythmic rustle of ropes and the occasional distant cheer. He stopped, turning fully toward you. His hands hovered near yours, unsure, trembling slightly, the confidence he always wore, now struck by sincerity. I need to say something. He swallowed hard. I'm sorry, I should have never, no, I never should have bullied you. Ever, I was stupid, cruel, and you softened, remembering every teasing smirk, every show, every cruel joke, but now, seeing his raw honesty, the anger faded. You scribbled in your notebook, I forgive you. His eyes softened, relief loading his features, yet the intensity in them only deepened. Mouse, no, wait, no more mouse. I have been calling you that all these years. Teasing you, and now I realize it doesn't suit you anymore. You deserved something better. He stepped closer, voice trembling with something unspoken. Do you love me? Your heart raced without hesitation. You nodded. He blinked, then covered his mouth with one hand, stumbling backward in disbelief. You actually, he fell back dramatically onto the stone steps, knees hitting cold stone. A shaky laugh escaped him, mingled with awe, relief, and that reckless charm that had always drawn you in. I can't believe this. You love me after everything, after I got, I'm such a fool. He buried his face in his hands for a moment, then looked up, eyes glistening. His gaze softened, and his hand found yours. You know what? From now on, I won't call you Mouse. I will call you mine or something. You were cuter, my little star. Your chest tightened, and you smiled softly, a quiet warmth filling your chest. I have loved you from the moment you laughed at me in class, from the moment I realized I couldn't stop thinking about you. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you, I swear it. You stepped closer, letting your hands meet his. The word, the cheering, the toss caps, the music vanished. Only the two of you remained. And in that golden twilight, on the steps where your story had begun with teasing, fear, and silent resentment, it ended, or rather, began anew with love, forgiveness, and a bond that no words, no time could ever break.